How is it that stove manufacturers can make 2 or even 3 5 kilowatt stoves that are all totally different sizes and yet described as the same thing?
I don't know. How can they do that?
Please like and subscribe. We recently made a review on the Peanut Big Nut 5 and the Peanut 8. And the difference between these two stoves is literally those bricks in there. Other than that, they're exactly the same stove. Yet they have a huge difference in output. Other reviews we've made on things like the Hunter Herald Allure range, all of them rated at 5 kilowatt, but they've got a 4, a 5 and a 7, all totally different sizes. I'm keen to say that nearly every manufacturer out there is doing this, not just the ones mentioned. The simplest answer is normally the right one, and in this case the simplest answer is these outputs aren't accurate. They're simply doctored figures to suit the marketing for that stove, and in fact, in different countries with exactly the same stove you often get different outputs given, again to suit the marketing for that particular area. According to building regulations, if you live in a house that was built after 2008, you have to have an air vent regardless. But if your house was built before 2008 and your stove is 5 kilowatts or less, you don't have to have an air vent. And of course, manufacturers were suddenly tripping over themselves to retest their 6 kilowatt and their 7 kilowatt stoves. I figure that once you get to 8 kilowatt, people were already resigned to the idea that they had to have an air vent. But with 6s and 7s, people wouldn't buy them. They'd want to buy a big 5 kilowatt stove. And so suddenly you got these 6 and 7 kilowatt stoves that were rated as 5, but with a maximum output of 7. It's sort of like...
You in the mirror? They're all the same, aren't they? 5, 6, 7.
Before this rule was introduced, manufacturers wanted to sort of exaggerate. They were like, look at this tiny stove and its huge output. You're a child. This meant they had to undo the previous marketing that they'd done to try and now say, look at this huge stove with this smaller output. If you want to learn more about what size stove is going to be best for you, there's a video here. And if you want to learn more about air vents, there's another video here.
I couldn't see where you pointed just then.
To clarify, if you want to learn about the size of stove that you need, here. If you want to learn more about air vents, here.
You're pointing to both places. Well, I just would take your finger down when you point to the other one.
Here.
Yeah.